Hello, everyone! Today, I am going to teach you a transitive verb and its types. But if you are new to my channel, then please like the video and subscribe the channel. I guarantee you that after watching this video, you will know all about transitive verb. Let's first learn a transitive verb. It can be defined as a transitive verb is a verb that requires a direct object to complete its meaning. The action of the verb is done to someone or something. This is a very interesting and easy definition. You should keep in mind because it helps you understand it clearly. Simply, it means that when a verb requires an object to complete the meaning of a sentence is called a transitive verb. I think you are not getting the point. Just look at these examples, then you will understand it. I bought a new car. In this sentence, the verb bought is a transitive verb. The reason is that it has an object which is a new car. And the second thing is that this object completes the meaning of this sentence. If we remove this object, then this sentence does not make a complete sense. If I say I bought, so you will be confused that what I bought. So you should not be confused and remember that a transitive verb must have an object, and if there is no object in the sentence, then the verb will not be considered as a transitive verb, and it will be considered as an intransitive verb. There are many examples like this. She needs a book. Look at this sentence. The verb need is a transitive verb. The reason is that this verb has an object, a book, and if you observe it, this sentence does not make a complete sense if we remove the object like, she needs, we don't know that what she needs. So this is also a transitive verb. They watched a movie. This is another example of transitive verb. The verb watched is transitive verb. The reason is that it has an object, a movie. And the second reason is that if we remove this object, then this sentence does not make a complete sense, like, they watched, we don't know what they watched. So this is another example of transitive verb. Now let's learn about the types of transitive verb. The first one is ditransitive verb. A ditransitive verb is a type of transitive verb that requires two objects to complete its meaning. This is the simplest definition. Simply, it means that a ditransitive verb is a verb which requires two objects to complete the meaning of the sentence. You should keep in mind that one object will be direct object and another will be indirect object. To put it simple, I would say, when you see two objects in a sentence, the verb of that sentence is called ditransitive verb. Just look at these examples. She gifted him a book. Just observe this sentence. Here the verb is gifted, which requires two objects to complete the sense. So the first object is the pronoun him, and another object is a book. You can see this sentence has two objects. Therefore, this verb is called ditransitive verb. As I said that a transitive verb must have an object, but it has two objects that is known as a ditransitive verb. Just observe this example. Smith lent me his watch. Look at this example. The ditransitive verb is lent, which has two objects. The one is the pronoun me, and the other object is his watch. If we don't mention one object, this sentences won't give us complete meaning. Like Smith lent me, you can see we cannot get the main idea that what he lent me, but when we mention the other one, then we get the full meaning of it. So this is called ditransitive verb. They gave him my card. Look at this last example. The verb gave has two objects. One is the pronoun him and the other is my card. Simply, one is direct object and another is indirect object. To put it simple, this verb has two objects and which help it to give complete sense. And as we have said, when two objects are there in a sentence, the verb of that sentence is called ditransitive verb. As you learned this one, let's learn another one. Complex transitive verb. A complex transitive verb is a type of transitive verb that takes two elements after it. One is direct object and another an object complement. Simply, it means that a complex transitive verb requires an object, but that must have a complement. You should not be confused about an object complement. Actually, the object complement can be a noun, adjective, infinitive, participle, or prepositional phrase, and it typically renames or describes the direct object, or shows what the object becomes as a result of the action. In other words, you can say, a complex transitive verb is a verb that requires both a direct object and an object complement to complete its meaning. The complement either describes, renames, or results from the action done to the object. So that verb is called a complex transitive verb. I think you are not getting the point. Just look at these examples. They elected him president. In this sentence, the verb elected functions as a complex transitive verb because it is followed by two elements. One is a direct object, the pronoun him, and an object complement, which is president. The direct object him receives the action of the verb. He is the person who was elected. However, the meaning of the sentence is not fully complete with just the direct object. It requires an additional element to indicate what role or identity he was elected to, which is where the object complement president comes in. This complement gives more information about the direct object, essentially renaming or defining the new status of him after the action takes place. To put it simple, this verb has one object and one complement, and that is why it is called a complex transitive verb. We found the movie boring. Look at this example in the sentence, we found the movie boring. The verb found is a complex transitive verb because it is followed by a direct object and an object complement. The direct object is the movie, which receives the action of the verb. It is what was found. However, the sentence also includes boring as an object complement, which describes how the subject we perceive the direct object, the movie. This complement adds necessary meaning by describing the state or quality of the object as judged by the subject. Without the complement, the sentence we found the movie feels incomplete or vague. Therefore, found is complex transitive because it links the subject to a direct object and a descriptive complement, which together convey a complete and meaningful idea. I consider him a genius. In this last sentence, the verb consider is a complex transitive verb because it takes both a direct object and an object complement. The direct object is the pronoun him, which is the person receiving the action of the verb. He is the one being considered. The word a genius is the object complement, which provides more information about the direct object by identifying what the subject believes or judges him to be. This complement renames the object and reflects the subject's opinion or assessment. If the sentence ended at I consider him, it would be grammatically correct but incomplete in meaning, leaving the listener wondering, consider him what? Therefore, the verb consider in this sentence qualifies as a complex transitive verb because it connects the subject to the direct object and further describes or identifies that object through a complement, completing the idea logically and grammatically. Monotransitive verb. A monotransitive verb is a type of transitive verb that takes only one object, and specifically, a direct object. It does not require or allow an indirect object or an object complement to complete its meaning. What does it mean? Simply, it means that it is a verb that must have one direct object to make a complete, meaningful sentence. It is called mono, meaning one, transitive, because it involves a single object that receives the action of the verb directly. I think you are not getting the point. Just look at these examples. She opened the window. In this sentence, the verb opened is a monotransitive verb because it is followed by a single direct object, the window. The subject, she, performs the action, and the action is done directly to the window. There is no indirect object, such as a recipient, and no object complement, such as a description or renaming of the object. The meaning of the sentence is complete with only one object, making opened a monotransitive verb in this context. To make simple, I would say when a verb has only one object, it is called monotransitive verb. There are many examples like this. He wrote a letter. Here, the verb wrote is monotransitive because it requires and takes just one direct object, a letter, to complete its meaning. The subject, he, performs the action of writing, and the object, a letter, receives that action. There is no second object or complement that explains or renames the object, which confirms that only one object is involved. Thus, wrote is functioning as a monotransitive verb in this sentence. They watched the fireworks. In this sentence, the verb watched is monotransitive because it directly affects a single object, the fireworks. The subject they are performing the action of watching, and the fireworks are what is being watched. There is no indirect object, no one is being shown something, and no complement that gives extra information about the fireworks. Since only one object is needed to complete the verb's meaning, watched is clearly a monotransitive verb here. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. But make your own examples of a complex transitive verb and comment it in the comment box. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.